Hello. Welcome on back to my channel. I hope y'all are doing well. Today I'm creating a look that I find to be perfect for the summertime. We're keeping it extremely lightweight and breathable in terms of the complexion we achieve. I'm really focusing in on the skincare aspect of the look, and I'm doing this all in partnership with Dalba. So without further ado, if you want to learn how I created this look right here, then keep on watching. So to begin, I'm using the Plexiglass Illuminator along with the Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dewdrops, mixing them together into the palms of my hands before applying it onto our model's skin. Of course, you know I love mixing in the Plexiglass into any skincare I use to achieve that luminous finish, but just in general, I really enjoy this Glow Recipe product. It's had its viral moment and it continues to for good reason. It hydrates, it has a really pretty finish, and all around a really great product for most skin types. So now I'm applying the Dalba Waterfall UV Essence Sun Cream, and I'm really gonna take my time showing this step today because I want you to see why I love this product so much. You hear me talking about all the time using sunscreen and how important it is that everyone wears it every single day, yada, yada, yada. Okay, but I never said I enjoyed putting on sunscreen. I don't know anyone that does. I mean, personally, they've always felt greasy on me or made me break out or left a weird white cast, but I kid you not, this is the first sunscreen product I've ever used that I actually enjoy using on myself and on clients. I first apply it to the general areas of the face and neck, as you saw there a second ago, before I begin massaging it into the skin, and you can literally see how it blends right in. This leaves absolutely no white cast whatsoever, which is nearly unheard of when it comes to sunscreen, at least with my experience. I can't tell you how many sunscreens I've purchased over the years that claim they're invisible, and it does look perfect on the models and the photos, yeah, but when I buy it and put it on, it absolutely leaves a white cast. And I have very fair skin, so if I'm experiencing that, I just know that those with deeper skin tones are definitely experiencing that too. So it's nice to finally have a sunscreen that delivers exactly what it claims to, which is to be completely invisible. It doesn't feel like a sunscreen. It doesn't smell like a sunscreen. It doesn't even look like a sunscreen. It quite literally feels like I don't even know, like a really nice serum or lightweight moisturizer. I don't know how to explain it, but you can see here how beautiful it looks on the skin. And the fact that it's an SPF 50, I mean, hello. It's protective, it's hydrating, it's soothing, and it's affordable. It's usually $36, but they're running a like a 40% off promo right now on Amazon, which technically brings it down to only $22. So I'll include their Amazon link down below for the product. If you're looking for a really good everyday sunscreen, check it out. I'm really confident with this one that you'll like it as much as I do. Okay, so now that we have the skin fully prepped, let's move on to the foundation. I'm using this Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation and applying this on with a makeup sponge, mostly to the center of the face. This is a medium coverage foundation, but I'm using it more like a sheer tint to the skin today by only using a very small amount of this. I'm keeping in mind that I'll be going in with concealer and cream bronzer. I don't want this to get out of control and become a full coverage glam, which as you know, can easily happen with me. So less is more here. And I do like applying this on with a sponge because it helps pick up any excess product that we just don't need. Our model today, Miretis, has beautiful skin, and while we have done some full glam looks together over the years that look incredible on her, I want to keep the complexion lightweight and breathable today, which is perfect for the summertime. Once I have this applied, I'm then using this Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick in the shade Medium Dark, and ever so slightly applying this to the areas of the face I want to add warmth and dimension to, such as the perimeter of the forehead, below the cheekbones, along the jawline, and a little around the nose. I'm applying this on with a really dense face brush. I think this one I'm using is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't want you to get too caught up with that, because really you can pick up a brush for a few dollars and get the same result. It's how you use it that's most important here. Or better yet, just use a blush brush or something like that that you already have. As long as it has some movement and it allows you to press the product into the skin, you'll be fine. And if anything, if you're finding that the product needs help with the blending, just head back to the sponge you used to blend out your foundation and it'll work out that issue. In fact, you're gonna see me do that here in a second anyways. So I'm gonna take a break from rambling so you can see how I apply and blend this all in. All right, now that we have this blended, we're then going to use the new Huda Beauty Luminous Matte Concealer and apply a little of this to the inner corner of her under eye area before I use my sponge to blend this out. I applied this product to this area because this is where I want it to be the most opaque. But as I diffuse this concealer down and outwards towards the temples, it'll sheer out just enough to add a subtle highlight and accentuate the lifted almond shape of her eyes. I will say, if you have a similar skin tone to Miretis, you may want to go a shade deeper than the one I used today. I only have 3 shades of this concealer right now, and I've been really wanting to try this formula out on someone, so I just picked the closest match. I think the undertone might be a little off today, but we'll work it all out by the end with some powders and blush, and it'll all be fine. But for powder, I'm using the One Size translucent setting powder to set that concealer we just applied. It doesn't need to be a real heavy amount of powder, especially if you find that you have drier under eyes, but just a little something to secure that concealer into place and to prevent it from creasing. For the rest of the face, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Powder in the shade Tan, and I'm lightly pressing this in with a face brush. This is a nice powder because it's not full coverage. It does have some color pigment in it, but it's very sheer, so it goes with the whole look we're going for today. And this is why I went in with such a light hand with the liquid foundation and cream bronzer beforehand. We're gonna get some coverage from this powder and the powder bronzer and the powder blush we used next. And while it's not a lot of coverage, it does add up, so I'm trying to be mindful of that. For bronzer, I'm using the Fenty Stalk'r bronzer in the shade Ting, and using this to further emphasize the bronze tones in her skins. And to keep it quick and easy, I'm just using the same brush for this step, running this along pretty much the same area we had applied the cream bronzer earlier, the perimeter of the forehead, below the cheekbones, the temples, and along the jawline. To blush up the cheeks, I'm using this Buxom blush in the shade Mykonos and dusting this onto the apples of her cheeks. This is such a pretty blush shade, especially for the summertime. It adds a beautiful pop of color to the skin, and it kind of pulls the look together, don't you think? It's blendable, it's buildable, which is what you're seeing happen here, going back and forth to build up the intensity I'm looking to achieve. Moving on to brows, I'm using the One Size BrowKiki brow pencil in the shade dark brown and using this to slowly build up the shape I'm going for. I usually go softer for her brows when I do her makeup, but I kind of wanted to do something different today and go a little more dramatic, which I think works because we went softer with the complexion and we're keeping the eye makeup and lip color more neutral, so it all kind of balances out. And once I have this pencil applied on, I'll take an angled brow brush to brush through the pigment and then apply a lighter foundation powder right underneath it, right on that brow bone to clean up and sharpen the brow we created. Heading back to the complexion for a second here, I'm using the Dalba First Spray Serum to spray on top of those powders. I love using the spray for this reason because what it's doing is it's taking those powders we've applied on and melting them into the skin. It's a technique I used to use all the time back in the day, and I just started using it again recently. I forgot how beautiful it makes the powder products look on the skin. In fact, it makes it look like skin again. It brings back that luminosity and sheen. And later on, towards the end of this tutorial, once this completely dries down, I'll then go back in with powder to bring down the shine in the areas we don't want it in. But first, we're going to start on the eye makeup using this Haus Labs Optic Intensity Eco Gel Eyeliner Pencil. And I'm using this like a cream eyeshadow today. I do this by running it through the upper lash line as I would a normal eyeliner. And as I make my way towards the outer part of the eye, I begin bringing this pencil upwards. This doesn't have to be perfect at all. I'm just placing this in the areas I want it to be the most pigmented. And then you'll see here how I blend it out for a soft and diffused finish. What's nice about these pencils is that they're super blendable, so you have time to work with it. But once it dries down, it's there to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. And I forgot to say here that the shade I'm using in this pencil is the shade Deep Bronze Shimmer. So of course it has a shimmery finish, which will later intensify more in the next step after I run this pencil through the lower lash line and blend that out as well. Okay, on top of this, I'm using the Haus Labs Bio Radiant Gel Powder Highlighter in the shade Bronzite. And even though this is a highlighter, we're using it as an eyeshadow today because when I swatched this the other day in Sephora, on top of the eyeliner we just used, I had to get it. I mean, how could I not? It's just so pretty. And you can get crazy with this, by the way. You can really build it up to be smoked out and dramatic, but I'm trying to keep this more understated and more model off-duty kind of vibe, if you know what I mean. So this is the direction we're taking. But what I will do next is take this Anastasia Beverly Hills loose highlighter in the shade Sunset Aura and pop it right on top to make this a little extra glam. Nothing over the top, but it's something you can do if you're looking for a quick and easy way of taking your daytime look and making it a bit more glam for the evening. And I don't even know if they sell this anymore. I've had it for so long, but if you find it, I mean, grab it while you can. I love using it on the eyelids and even as a body highlighter. It's a little too glittery for my preference for, like the cheekbones, but it does look really nice on the chest and shoulders. Okay, now I'm using the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes Mascara and running this through both the top and bottom lashes. There are two different formulas you can choose from with this mascara. You can either use a side that volumizes, or you can use the side that curls and lengthens, or you can use both together, but today I'm just using the volumizing side on my reddish. And then to add length, I've added on a very natural lash. It's the Demi Wispies from Ardell. I wasn't planning on using lashes today, but as I said in the beginning of this tutorial, it's easy for me to get carried away with the glam, but at least we kept the lashes natural looking. So now that the eyes are done with, I've head back to the complexion here and I'm bringing down that shine in the areas where I want it to be more matte. So underneath the eyes, around the nose and mouth, and a little in the center of the forehead, but keeping other areas of the skin luminous where I want it to be, like the cheekbones and down the center of the nose. It's all about balance here and creating the illusion of really healthy, radiant skin, but without looking sweaty, because it's easy to blur that line between looking glowy and then straight up looking like you just left the gym. You know what I mean? And then here, I'm just popping on a little more of that Buxom blush because why not? I love my blush. Okay, now I'm starting on the lips using this Nova Beauty lip liner in the shade Brown 01 and using this to trace the border of her lips. I really, really like these lip liners. They're sharp, they're pigmented, they glide right on, they blend beautifully, and they're only $10. I posted a tutorial on Wednesday showing swatches of all the lip liners and lipsticks and glosses they recently released in the collection, so you can check that out if you want to see the different shades and stuff. I mean, they really did a beautiful job with the whole collection, but the lip liners especially are some of the best I've ever used. So
Yeah, okay. Anyway, once I have this applied, I'm then using this Anastasia Beverly Hills Diamond Lip Gloss in the shade Amber Sparkle and applying this to the center of the lip before blending it outwards. This is how I like to use this gloss. Because it has a lot of sparkle in it, I find if I apply too much, the sparkle becomes so concentrated that it almost looks like a metallic kind of pigment. But by sharing it out, you get to really see the definition of each of those glitter particles, which makes it look so good and expensive and just beautiful. And then lastly, I'm using the Shimmer Body Oil, also from Anastasia Beverly Hills, spraying this onto the chest before blending it in with a brush. I feel it kind of ties everything together. It adds a radiant glow to the skin. It smells really good. And it makes for the perfect last step in how we created this bronzy glam summertime makeup look on my naturally beautiful friend, Miretis.
Have it, kids. I hope you all enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, be sure to give this video a big ol' thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out more of my work on my Instagram at Painted by Spencer. And until next time, I'll see you soon.